The federal government of Zoological Republic has today created and registered a new faction from ASUU. ASUU is the Academic Staff Union of Universities. This new faction, which they call Congress of Nigerian University Academics, in abbreviation CONUA, was today presented with certificates of registration. Wonderful people, men and women of good conscience and lovers of freedom all over the globe, we welcome you back once again to our news digest this day, the 4th day of October 2022. Today is Tuesday, to be precise, and we must say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. This is Nicky Bobby, where we bring you reliable news across Biafra land, across the Zoological Republic, and beyond. As you have seen it, this is the current situation. We are going to deliberate on this and give you more information as regards to what is going on, what the Zoological Republic government is doing. But before we go into it, we equally want to encourage you to use this opportunity to hit the subscribe button, as well as to give us thumbs up if you like what we are doing here. Go ahead to share our videos to those who might need it. This will go a long way to tell you that Nigerian government have continued in their practices of scamming the citizens. This is exactly, and various parastatals in the Zoological Republic. That is why you know that Nigerian government has, if Nigeria, as an entity like they call it, has a faulty foundation. How can a government begin to scam the citizens, begin to scam the parastatals that are supporting, that are building the economy, that are building the educational system, no matter how little they are contributing? This is the problem that has inflicted the entire African nation. A black man does not reason properly the way it's supposed to reason. These people that have just accepted to be used to destroy the system of education in Nigeria, are they not aware that what the federal government is doing is to indict them? And at the end of the day, you find out that whatever goes around must surely comes around. Nigerian government has been owing ASUU for over 10 years. They have refused to improve the situation of the public universities, and this is the thing, this is the issue of deliberation. And these people now that went and registered and formed this organization allow themselves to be used to destroy education in Nigeria. They are still part of ASUU. Now they have to break away in order to collect money from the federal government. How much can they collect? How long can it last for you to sell your entire generation? This is another part of slavery. In the olden days, our forefathers, our great-grandfathers, we are selling their children to the Europeans. Could it be that they didn't reason it? That is the wickedness of a black man. Today, this group of people have again pledged the future of their children in the hands of the Fulani federal government. Look at this man here. Look at them with Ngige. Today, the target federal government presents certificates of registration to ASUU, a faction of ASUU. The federal government has presented a certificate of registration to the Congress of Nigerian University Academic, CONUA. Chris Ngige, Minister of Labor and Employment, presented the certificate to CONUA on Tuesday. CONUA is a breakaway faction of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU. Ngige also presented a certificate of registration to the National Association of Medical and Dental Academics. Nigerian government is playing with the lives of the people, of the citizens, with the medicals as well as dental section, with education. They have formed another body when it comes to the medical and dental. And these people that are allowing themselves to be used to crush the already existing body, they know too well that this their new body will not sustain, it will not survive. This is a way to finally bring down education in the Zoological Republic, and as well as health sector. This is what the federal government of the zoo is doing. The development comes amid a strike by ASUU over the demand for increased funding for public universities, a review of lecturer salary, as well as allowances, among other issues that ASUU tabled since over 13 years ago. The strike has lasted for over 7 months. Meetings between the federal government as well as ASUU have not yielded any concrete results that signifies that the strike will end soon. However, just of late, the federal government had filed a case against ASUU before the National Industrial Court over the prolonged strike. In its ruling, the court had ordered the lecturers to resume, but ASUU had filed an appeal seeking a stay of execution of the judgment, which is proper. At this point, Nigerian government, the FG is at fault. This is what is going on. And of course, recently, the leadership of the House of Representatives met with ASUU. Amina, you recall, we brought you this information about last week. And the federal government officials over this particular strike. On the presidency, of course, should I say the president, the Masquer, at a recent meeting with chancellors of federal universities, also promised to make further consultations over the strike by the lecturers. Meanwhile, ASUU has said it is willing to suspend the strike if the federal government accepts its minimum demand. Can you understand what is going on? Miller, during their last discussion with ASUU, he said that they should come down, they should come to a par where they can reason that definitely there will be a minimum demand which they will be able to afford. Finally, ASUU equally came down. So, okay, provide the minimum demand that you will be able to do now. Let's resume. And what did the Fulani Zug federal government did? They now went behind and bribed some elements and now form a particular organization, a particular body, which they call the CONUA, Congress of Academic of Universities. Imagine. But these people knows that Nigeria's education is at the brink of collapse. This group of people knows that the best thing for Nigeria to strengthen their relationship, the government of Nigeria to strengthen their relationship with ASUU. But what did they do? They went behind and formed a mushroom organization that they call the Congress of Nigerian University Academies. This is another scam by the federal government of Nigeria. They have scammed ASUU, they have scammed students, they have scammed the masses once again. And that is why the foundation of Nigeria as an entity is faulty. Now, what happened to those lecturers you've been owing? So you want to force them, persuade them to be teaching you for months without being paid, using this organization you just formed. Is that what you're saying? The government, whoever that did this to you guys, this is the handwork of the Fulanis and Ngige, who claim to be educated as he is. This is what they end up with. This is what they end up with. What will this group do? They will not be able to handle the educational system in the Zoological Republic. Like I said earlier, whatever goes around must surely comes around. When the federal government will put them in their feet once again, they will start complaining. And how many years must have gone by then? They have finally finished education in Nigeria. No wonder the NCF yesterday was crying that what they are perceiving, it seems that this case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB and Biafra might be the end of Nigeria. We brought you that information yesterday. That the National Consultative Forum sent a message to the presidency, asked them to act quickly to make sure that they let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go. That what they are foreseeing, although not too clear, is showing them that this holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the issue of Biafra might be the end of Nigeria. That is the message they sent to the presidency yesterday. And today they have ended up crashing down the educational system, the educational sector in the Zoological Republic. What else is remaining? There is no health sector, it's not there. Education is not there. There is no road, no electricity, no water, no economy, no agriculture, and flood to cap it all, which is a natural disaster. Maybe, I wouldn't say it is Chukwuka Abiyama that used this. A flood is ravaging across the entire Zoological Republic, which they have refused to announce, to report. And yet they are saying that they want to go to do election. Election for what? Look at those professors, look at those lecturers, look at those assistant lecturers that have been suffering, that have been putting their best, even though the standard of education in because you will not blame the lecturers that made the standard of education in Nigeria to be poor. You don't blame the lecturers. It's the system that is being created, casted by the federal government of Nigeria. That is the way they want education, universities to be in Nigeria. For universities in Nigeria not to be able to produce qualified graduates that can work on the labor market, on the field. This is exactly the way Nigerian government structure it, because they know if education thrives in Nigeria, the Southerners will utilize it. In order to make sure that they don't thrive, they crash education. How can you go to school for 4 years or 5 years in a course that requires practical? You will not go to lab even for 1 day. Instead, they now turn it that practical will be 20%, theory will be 80%. And the practical after 20%, you will not do anything. After 5 years or 4 years, you come out knowing nothing. Sometimes when you go to the Western world, a boy from secondary school will be the one teaching you. You that call yourself a degree holder, you that call yourself a master's degree holder, a secondary school leaver. In fact, some of them have not finished secondary school. They will be the one teaching you. This is this, this is this, this is this. This is the way Nigerian government formulated. This is the way they structured the educational system in Nigeria. So do not blame the lecturers, because sometimes those lecturers still pass through that structure of the university. What did they learn? Nothing. The same way they taught them is the same way they will pour it. They will go and copy economic principles of 18 something, of 17 something, and they will be teaching to students. Nigerian lecturers will go and copy economic principles of maybe India of 15 something. They will be teaching it right now. They don't know the reason why India adopted that economic principle to be able to develop their region then. But Nigerian lecturers, Nigerian government will bring the book and ask you to study it in this 2022. You have seen it. You have seen it. They feel that they are playing smart because all their children, the ruling class, all of them are abroad schooling. And these ones I'm seeing here, that is wearing this face cap, I don't know how their faces look like. Maybe increasing through the federal government will still give them enough money that they will send their own children abroad and they will remain back. If here we are ASUU, this particular body will not hold. It will not exist. In fact, if Nigerian students knows what they are doing, they call themselves those who claim to be the student union. Every now and then they are playing politics, local politics, and that's where it starts. By the time they go to the federal level, they are nothing to write home about, because bribery and corruption has finished them from the level of the university before they go to the House of Assemblies and Representatives. Now look at it. If Nigerian students, the Union of Nigerian Students knows what they are doing, they must refute these people. They will tell them, no, you will not exist. This body will not exist. This is the work that the union, student unions should be doing, not going to collect bribe from senators, from the ministers, in order to make their clear their way so that they find their way. This is what is going on in Nigeria now. ASUU has been crushed from what we are seeing because the federal government has abandoned them and formed another organization. This is the meaning. Those who they've been owing for years, they will not pay them again. Do they want to persuade them to do what is not necessary, what is not good? This is the story of the Zoological Republic. It is founded on a wrong foundation. And that is why whenever we come here and tell you that Nigeria is a scam, now you will begin to appreciate the mess that people are in Nigeria. You will begin to appreciate the words we are bringing to you. The one Nigeria.